Michael, welcome to Coleraine Football Club. I'm sure the last couple of months have been a wee bit mad. Talk us through how they've been.
Yeah, listen, football's a crazy game, as we know, and I was very, very settled in where I was, but a couple of opportunities kind of raised their heads that needed consideration and attention, given the levels that they were at, and here we are, and I'm delighted. A couple of things, and again, going back to that, when the gaffer came in, I think it's natural that people talk, and especially when Connor came and then was followed by Boiler. But it was very, very late in the day, and it was following the other opportunities that got presented. As I said, you know, the Middle East and Premier League club in England and one in America that were all very attractive in their own right. But for me, when you have the trust of someone and you've worked with them and you have their respect and you know that you can be successful together, it would have been wrong of me not to come and have that conversation, and I'm delighted that I did. I think the whole package, really, in terms of the first team goalkeeping department, obviously I've come in and there's recruitment that needs to be attended to. So that excites me massively. I keep my finger on the pulse in terms of goalkeepers all over Ireland, England, Scotland, Europe, and further afield. But in terms of the academy side of things as well, we've a really, really talented group of young goalkeepers, and I love working with young goalkeepers, creating that pathway, creating those opportunities, and ultimately a club like this shouldn't be going looking for goalkeepers every year. They should be bringing them through and developing them. So that excited me as well. Say the biggest thing, obviously working with a gaffer again, and it's a massive club, and very similar to my last club, who have nothing but good things to say about. Really, really enjoyed my time there. But it's a project, and it's one that we can almost see the finish line. But there's a lot of hard work to be done.
Well, we worked together for a few years. I brought him to Derry, and I think when it's human nature when managers go into a new football club, when you have a really, really good, strong working relationship with people, you like to keep that continuity, and once I knew it was possible that Michael could potentially join the club, then I wanted to do everything in our power. He's not just a goalkeeping coach, by the way. He's very, very good on a lot of things. He's so detailed, breaks everything down, and he's someone who I value extremely highly, and I think he's the best. He's the best that I've seen at what he does, and I'm including when I was in England as a young boy and stuff. He is really, really elite in his field.
And what is it about the gaffer that you think sets him apart, and what is it that makes you want to come on board with him?
It's everything that people don't see. You know, when you're in that spotlight of management, it's one of the most stressful jobs in the world, and you're very guarded. And ultimately, when you're facing the press, it's after a win or defeat or a performance that you kind of need to protect your players and protect your staff. So you don't really get to see the person. I think that's fair to say that. But you know, when you spend time with people, and the amount of time you spend as staff is probably more than you spend with your families. You see the real people in there. Very, very attentive, very caring, very, very knowledgeable. Certainly the best that I've ever worked with in terms of tactically. And again, when someone has that trust in you, I think that was the biggest thing for me. Walking into a building where everyone was approachable, was friendly, wanted to help, and made you aware that they were there to do their jobs, but also to help you with yours. And that, you think, should be standard practice. It's not. So that was the biggest thing that jumped out at me. In terms of facilities, obviously I've been here numerous times, on the pitch, on the sideline. But when you get behind the scenes and you see what the players have to work with, obviously staff and facilities, everything's there for them. So it's a really, really exciting project, and I think it's up to us now as a group of staff to get the absolute best out of these players and hopefully bring success to the football club. The goalkeepers that I worked with, and that includes the academy goalkeepers. The project that I put in place was, could we get some of our goalkeepers into the national teams, and we did. Could we get one or more of our goalkeepers across the water, and we did. But in terms of our first team goalkeepers, outside of team success, you know, Brian Maher, who was exceptional when I arrived. One of our targets there was, could we make him goalkeeper of the year, and we achieved that together as well. But just the day-to-day working of that group was probably one of the happiest times that I've ever had on the pitch and on the training ground. Obviously that saddens you to move away from that, but I think when you build those relationships and friendships, they'll last longer than a contract.
The first day I saw you were talking about how you'd been up at Derry that weekend, watching the lads, and you'd throw in then. How important is it to leave somewhere like that with the respect on both sides? They seem to clearly hold you in the highest respect, and vice versa.
I think it's important because, you know, whenever I walked through the doors, again, I felt that I was wanted, certainly from the manager and the staff, and that followed with board of directors, supporters. Everyone made me feel really, really welcome. And again, you know, we just didn't get over the line as a team and as a club, but some unbelievable memories. The run in Europe, even getting to the cup final, it wasn't the result we wanted, but that whole journey. So I think it was really important to kind of leave in the right way, and exactly the same way as when I come into the building. Coming back to the Irish League, I think excites me. Yeah, obviously had a fantastic time when I played in it. Made a lot of good friends, and it'd be good to see some people. But yeah, just revisiting those grounds, but now with a different challenge. You know, rather than the last couple of years going there to watch games as a neutral, I'm going there now to go and help win games. And the end goal for me is to get this football club to where it belongs, as part of a staff and a team, and that's success.
Top man. Excited to have you on board.
Delighted. Thank you.